I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I wanna fall in love with you. What a wicked game you play, made me feel this way. What a wicked thing you do, you made me dream of you. And what a wicked thing to say, you never felt that way. What a wicked thing to do when you made me dream of you. And now I don't wanna fall in love. And no, I don't wanna fall in love. And no, I don't wanna fall in love with you. Well, you know I wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. Oh, with you, with you, with you. World was on fire and no one could save me but you. Thank you. How nice is it to have people clap? I've only been doing this from my living room, and yeah, so this is an absolute dream. Okay, so the next song that I have for you is it's my version. I like to mix songs up a little. But this is my version of Kids by MGMT. Now you were a child crawling on your knees toward it, making mama so proud, but your voice is too loud. But we like to watch you laughing, picking in some soft plants with no time to think of the consequences. Oh, try yourself, take only what you need from me. A family of trees wanting to be haunted. Try yourself, take only what you need from me. A family of trees wanting to be haunted. The water is warm, but it's sending me shivers. A baby is born and it's crying out for attention. A memory fades like looking through a fog mirror. Oh, decisions are made, but not fought. It would hurt a lot, I guess. No, control yourself, take only what you need from me. Family of trees, I want wanting to be haunted. Try yourself, take only what you need from night. But then I have dreams I want to be haunted. Try yourself, try yourself. Try yourself, take only what you need from me. Oh, if I have dreams that wanted to be wanted. Try yourself, take only what you need from me. If I have dreams that wanted to be haunted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so slow.
Cool. Thank you, Rosa Maxwell. Sorry, everybody. Thank you. Just turn the sound down. Thank you. So, yes, welcome to the Festival of Awesomeness Talks. Tonight, we're finding our balance. It's the third in the series. We've had finding our mindset, finding our focus, and tonight is finding our balance. These talks have been created to offer mental health tools and support as we come back out into this busy world. All of the talks will be recorded and put on our YouTube channel so you can watch afterwards as you like. The talks this evening and all the talks we do are to raise awareness for Papyrus, Prevention of Young Suicides charity. I lost my brother when I was 16, he was 18, and I know how important it is to share our emotions and talk about mental health. So if you have any time, any spare cash this evening, if you could donate to the link just above the live link, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much. So, finding your balance. This week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and it's focusing on getting back into nature, which I think is a very wonderful thing, because when we sit in nature, we look at nature and we find balance within nature, and we can find balance within ourselves. And yesterday was actually my brother's 42nd birthday. It would have been his 42nd birthday, so it's a very special day yesterday for me, and I was quite off balance, to say the least. And I have found ways over the years to find my balance, and one of them is to walk into nature and be with nature and to sit with nature, because in nature I do find my balance, but I also get recharged, and nature is like my superpower. And I have to let you into a little bit of a secret. My name is Clark. That's not the secret. When I was younger, I used to watch Superman and see Clark Kent, and I actually thought I was Superman, and I thought that I had superpowers. It's the truth. Yeah, I have, yeah. But then, as I grew up and life come upon me and I got older, obviously the realization happened that I actually am a superhero, and I do have superpowers. And then I realized that I looked around, and it doesn't matter what name you have or where you're from, everybody else has superhero powers. We have lungs that can convert the air into oxygen to breathe, and we can do that without even thinking about it. We can articulate our bones and our joints to make or invent things that weren't there a minute ago. We can use our words or our hands to express how we feel about the past or the present, and we can communicate our emotions. We can use the small muscles on the side of our face to raise them to make other people smile. We can do lots more, but I think these are superpowers. I then realized that we're all connected, and when I'm sad, you can feel that I'm sad. When I'm happy, you can feel that I'm happy. When I'm off balance, you can also feel that I'm off balance. So if I balance myself, then that must mean I can balance others. I have a quote in my bedroom that I see every day, and it is, when I get sad, I stop being sad and I be awesome instead. I realize that's quite a high quote to live up to, and it's not as easy as that. And yesterday I realized that that quote's actually wrong, because when we're sad, we're awesome. When we sleep, we're awesome. When we wake up, we're awesome. When we eat dinner, we're awesome. When we're awesome, we're awesome. We're always awesome. So I tried something yesterday when I was off balance and a bit sad. I said, I am awesome, with a sad face. And I couldn't say it, because as soon as I said the word awesome, I smiled. Give it a shot. So I am awesome. You can't do it, can you? So yes. So have a look in the mirror next time, guys, when you're feeling sad, and just say the word awesome. And now I'm going to introduce you to our speakers for this evening. Our first speaker this evening is Celine Abrahams. She is a breathworks coach, focusing on speciality of meditation. She has been practicing yoga and mindfulness for 15 years, and she's here to talk about how she finds her balance, her morning reset, and teaches others to find their balance too. Here's Celine Abrahams. Thank you. I just have to wipe the mic. 1 second.
Amazing. Thank you. Hands free. Yeah, great. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. My name's Celine. I teach breath. I wanted to do it, to start teaching it, because I was practicing it and I was feeling the benefits, and I just wanted to share my experience. I teach breath to help you get up in the morning, to reset during the day, to help you go to sleep. But today, I'm going to take us through a gentle, quiet meditation that is perfect for when you first wake up in the morning. So I'm just going to go right ahead. We're going to have our eyes closed. So if you want to face inwards, just get into a comfortable position. At home, if you want to sit back, making sure our neck is long. Eyes are closed now. Neck is long. Jaw is relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. And I just want to take a second to just see, as our eyes are closed, see into that space. How far can you see behind the eyes? Where does that space end? Take a couple of breaths here just to notice everything that you can see from behind the eyes. And now take in the space above you. And how far does that go? And to the sides of you, place your attention on the sides of your body and your head. And now on your hearing, and allow that train to come into your experience. Don't judge it. Just let it pass through. And the wind. Feeling your hair brush against your cheek. And the rustle of the leaves. Allowing everything to come into your experience. No judgment. Just allowing, just inviting it all in and out. And now I want you to take your attention down past the neck, just below the belly button. And if you want, you can place your hand on the space just below your belly button. And this is where we're going to be breathing from. And just watch the belly rising and falling. And now place your attention on your seat muscles. And on every out-breath now, I want you to allow your seat muscles to dissolve a little bit further into the chair below. Allowing gravity to take your weight. And now place your attention on your hips. We carry so much tension around our hip area. So on the next in-breath, breathe oxygen into your right hip. And breathe out and allow the tension, the resistance to dissolve into the floor below. Breathing in oxygen to that right hip. And breathing out, dissolving into the floor below. And then breathing into the left hip. And breathing out, allowing gravity to take your weight. And now I want you to take the attention back up, just below the belly button. And I want you to watch the emotional quality that is coming up there. Fully breathing into that experience. If it's wet and watery, then it is. If it's solid and fiery, then it is. If it's light and fluffy, then it is. Don't do anything with it. Just watch it. In our gut area, that's where we hold sadness, anger. And we sometimes resist those emotions when they come up. We're just going to take some time just to really feel, really open up into that experience. And I'll take the attention a little bit higher, up into the solar plexus, and you can move your hand up if you want. Really, there are only 3 emotions. We're either happy, sad, or angry. And if you're in resistance, if you're feeling numb, you can ask yourself, why am I resisting today? And just feel what is there. Watch it go by. In another respect, there's only 2. You're either feeling something pleasant or unpleasant. And again, if it's unpleasant, ask yourself, why am I feeling like this today? And allow the pictures to come up in your mind. Really, we're all little filmmakers. And this time we're creating the documentary of why am I feeling like this today, rather than allowing the mind to do it for us as we so regularly do. So ask yourself, why am I feeling like this today? And allow the movie to come up. And move the attention up into the heart area. And watch from there. Allow your documentary to move you. Be a good audience. Watch it like it's happening to somebody else. Watch from compassion. And then move the attention up into the throat area and into the mouth. And just quietly to yourself, if there's anything that you want to say to those people in that movie, then you can say it. And now take the attention to the back of the neck and up into the space above the crown and the area above your head And breathe in that limitless feeling that you get when you breathe in from the top of your crown. And breathe in from the bottom of your spine, all of those feelings and emotions that's come up. And breathe out through the top of the head and let it release into that limitless supply. Last couple of breaths, you can breathe in. And if you want, you can relax it out, let the head drop forward. One more breath, breathing in from the base of the spine, up and out through the mouth. And just one little experiment with our eyes are still closed. So now, hopefully we know if we're a little bit sad, a little bit happy, or a little bit angry today. If you are a little bit angry or a little bit sad, what can you tell yourself? That will mean that it does not matter how you're feeling whatsoever. You wouldn't care about what's going on because this is so great. And then you can do the opposite. What could you tell yourself that would absolutely devastate you? Or make you so angry that you would just get up and say, no, I don't accept that. And just because it's nicer, go back to telling yourself something really nice that will make you really, really happy. Now, did you change at all when you told yourself that little storyline? Did you change? Did you move? Or were all those feelings an object that you could watch? An object away from you? Sometimes we believe that we are our sadness. We believe we are our anger. But it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all movable. It's all changeable. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. This is something I do every morning to wake up. You know, every single day we have experiences, things that change us, and we wake up completely differently. And sometimes I definitely don't recognize certain things which I think, oh, I shouldn't be upset about that. I'll just carry on. That shouldn't make me angry. But actually we don't realize that we walk around with this low level anger and anxiety. Well, I definitely have done in the past. And the things that we resist, we deny, they persist. And so we're just walking around with this low level fear and anxiety. And it's so good to do this check-in. And doing this check-in, the more you do, it strengthens that muscle to really get to the core of what's going on and reset you daily. And working out, am I telling myself a storyline that's limiting me? And if so, what can I say to that person to allow it to disappear? Or is it actually something that's real and I do need to take action to change that? And it might just be waking up and changing your sheets. You know, I practice Buddhism as well, and we are encouraged in my practice to make determinations, make dreams. They encourage us to make the biggest dreams that we can possibly think of, because, you know, the universe doesn't discriminate, doesn't say to you, actually, I think that dream's a little bit big, you should probably try something else. So why not? Why not go after the biggest dream? The only difference is yourself and your resolve. Nothing else is standing in that way of attaining that dream and taking tiny little steps towards it, tiny little steps every single day. You might not reach the thing you're going after, but it's the law. It's the law of cause and effect. You make steps forward, an effect's going to happen. It might be different to what you thought it was, but something will happen. And the only difference is you and your ability to respond when things come up. And even if, you're doing your check-in and something's coming up and you say to yourself, I think I'm going to be a filmmaker. And so you go ahead, you make action, you take steps towards being a filmmaker, it's all going quite well, and then your mate goes, are you a bit old? You sure you want to do that? Is that really what you want to do? And you give up on that dream. It's not because what that person said was true. It's because you believed what they said. And your prayer became, I can't do this. However, stepping up, carrying on, making action, little steps towards that dream is going to strengthen that resolve. It's going to strengthen that life force. We talk about wellness, we talk about meditation. And I gave up a long time ago thinking that it was going to give me peace and levitation and, feeling brilliant. What it has taught me is to get back up when the obstacles come up and go, okay, let's have a look at this. How can I get around this? Rather than, I'm going to run away and go to bed. That's the difference, because the struggle doesn't leave us. The waves come and go. This breeze comes and goes. The clouds comes and goes. There's explosions in the universe constantly. How can we think our lives are going to be peaceful and smooth sailing? It's not. It's never going to be like that. The struggle is always going to come up, but it's your ability to respond to that struggle and keep standing up, keep making action is what is going to change your life. I want to finish up with just talking about my dad. He's 88 and his name's Roy. And 7 years ago, he called my mum into his bedroom and he couldn't do his shirt up and he was slurring his words and it looked like he'd had a stroke. But he was like, I've got a doctor's appointment, I'm going. So he went, came back, the doctor phoned and was like, Roy's had a mini stroke, he needs to go to hospital. My dad was like, no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Nothing's wrong with me. Carried on living his life. Never complained. Is strong as an ox. Last weekend, my mum phoned me, very worried. He was stuck in his chair at home last Saturday. I was on the way to work and I was like, Mum, you have to call an ambulance. He can't stand up, you need to. He got taken into hospital. They ran tests and they found a lot of cancer in his bowels and stomach and his kidneys were failing. They gave him 24 hours to live last Sunday. I rushed down to Bournemouth and spent the rest of the week with him at his bedside. And his body every day was getting weaker and weaker and weaker. But his spirit, his life force, his determination, he kept waking up and going, I'm fine. I'm fine. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm fine. That never died. He kept waking up, kept wanting to stand up. And it was as strong as ever. The doctors were like, your dad's an ox. It's amazing. Wednesday, Thursday, he couldn't even lift his head up anymore. But he was still so strong in the mind. He passed away on Friday. And what he has left me with is the absolute knowing that that spirit that's inside all of us, that has no limit, apart from the limits that we put on ourselves, that doesn't die. Wherever that's passed over to, I was holding his hand when he went. Wherever that passed through to, he is still that ox, that lion. His determination didn't ever fail. And it was incredible to watch. And I just wanted to leave you with those thoughts. Take action. Never doubt yourself. Do anything. The bigger, the better.
Thank you for that very powerful talk from Celine Abrahams. Thank you. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back with some more music from Rosa Maxwell and our next speaker. See you soon. Thank you. Just £5 will help someone answer the phone or answer a text, which may save a life. So please, if you can give anything this evening, it'll be amazing. Thank you so much. And once again, we've got Rosa Maxwell here. She's going to sing us in. So I'll hand you over to Rosa Maxwell.
Thanks, Clark. And wow, wasn't that amazing from Celine? I definitely feel so much more relaxed and there wasn't a dry eye over here. And so important, it's all about balance. And I know that music is something for me that when I might be feeling a little unbalanced, it's definitely a tool that I always keep in my toolbox to use and then be like, how am I feeling today? And if I'm feeling angry, I put on some really angry music and suddenly I'm laughing and I'm dancing around the house. So I think it's all of these different things that we can use in our toolbox to help us find that balance and to help us ground. So you might notice I am looking a little extra fabulous with this jacket. You'll probably slowly, yeah, claps for the jacket. You'll probably see me just carrying on, putting things on and on as the night continues. It is so beautiful to be here out in the fresh air, but I'm also really excited for when it gets even warmer. Yeah. So the next song I have for you is a real old favorite of mine, and along with being awesome, typically when we are feeling our awesomeness, we're also feeling good. So this is my cover of Muse's cover of Feeling Good. Oh, birds flying high. Oh, you know how I feel. Don't you know? Sun in the sky. Oh, you know how I feel. Oh, breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Oh, so damn good. I'm feeling good. Oh, fish in the sea. Oh, you know how I feel. Oh, ever running free. Yeah, you know how I feel. Blossom in a tree. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. good. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa Maxwell. Thank you. So our next speaker, we have a change of schedule this evening. We have Joe Davies with us this evening, a very good friend of mine. He stepped in at the last minute. There's not much more to say about Joe. He's an absolute legend. He's a stand-up comedian, but he's a lovely guy, and he's here to talk about his own mental health story through lockdown and how he got through lockdown, I guess, and other things. But he's such a lovely guy. Thank you, Joe, for being here this evening. Joe Davies. Just got to wipe the mic.
That was just paper, Clark, so I don't think that did anything, but cool. Hello, everyone. How you doing? So about 4 o'clock today, I knew that I was coming tonight, and Clark was, I text Clark and said, can you send me the link? Haven't got a ticket link. Yeah, sure. And a couple of days ago, I actually sort of thought to myself, I'm going to go to Clark's thing, but I'd love to actually do a speech sometime. So I suppose I manifested it in a way. But then somebody dropped out, and let's just say, no, let's not worry about her. I'm doing the speech now, and so I'm here. So I'm just going to talk. I don't really know what I'm going to say. I've got a few things written down because I was Silicon in a bathroom when I got the call to do it. And I've written a few things down, and we'll see how it goes. Great. Okay. So the last year or so, let's be honest, it's been a struggle, isn't it? Oh, shall I not do that? Yeah, it can do what I want. It's just the knack of doing the old stand-up and that, which I haven't done for a year and a half, which is part of the problem which has dealt with my mental health, because doing stand-up is basically I just need an audience, and the last year and a half haven't had that. So it's been a struggle for us all. I think it's totally fine to admit from the off, it's been pretty rubbish for a lot of us. And I've called it the roller coaster, because one day I feel to myself, do you know what? I'm absolutely fine. I've got two little boys. Everything's great. And the next day I just feel like saying, stay away from me, because I cannot be done with anybody. And at first I was like, just thinking to myself, oh, well, Joe, it's okay. Just, just get through today. And then, what have I done which is wrong? And overanalyzing everything. And I think with the roller coaster, you've got to sort of enjoy the highs and the lows and the loops and the excitement, the thrill, the downtime when you're really cacking your pants. And just be kind to yourself, because it has been a struggle. I wanted to talk about being a dad. So I've got two little boys. They're 4 and 7. I'm not with their mum anymore. And at the start of lockdown, we made a decision. We get on quite well. We made a decision that I'd move back into the house. So that in itself came with a lot of a challenge, because I live on a little boat at Springfield Marina up the road. It's lovely, big fan of it. But I moved back in, and what came with that was a lot of worry, a lot of hardship, but also a lot of joy. So the worry was, how am I going to deal with this? Because with my children, when I became a dad, I will also say, I will talk in gibberish, and it might not make that much sense, but there'll be a positive message towards the end. And so when I moved back in, it was like, okay, we're going to do this together. We're going to do this. We're going to put the boys first. We're going to make sure that everything is cool. And it has been. I've learned some valuable lessons through this last year and a half. One where when I became a dad, I didn't know my dad growing up. So when I was 27, I found out who my dad was. And I thought that everything was going to be cool then. And it wasn't, because I expected him to do things like take me to the football, read me a bedtime story. But I was 27, it would have been weird. But when I became a dad, it brought up a lot of things to do with why I didn't have that father figure, why I didn't get what my son was getting, and almost, I mean, it's hard to admit in front of people, but almost resenting my child to do with the love he was receiving. I also felt that I didn't deserve the love which my son, I've got 2 of them now, were giving me back. And in this last year and a half, I can safely say, for many reasons, that's all cool now. Because when I started therapy about 10 years ago, before I found my dad, I felt like I had this much trauma up here. And I felt like, flipping hell, that's a lot to get through. I can't do that before breakfast. And I feel like through talking honestly and being kind to myself, that it's down here now. And actually, why shouldn't I accept my boys' love? And why shouldn't I give them everything they deserve and what they need? Because we are here just once, so why not embrace the whole thing and show as much love out to the world as you want to receive? Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. And co-parenting has been amazing this last year and a half. Like, me and my ex Maxine have got on so much better. We still annoy each other. I annoy her probably more than she annoys me, and that's totally fine, because we're still in a relationship. We're in a co-parenting relationship, but we're winning. We're doing bloody well. We went to Legoland at the weekend, just the 4 of us. Like, it was wonderful for my son's 7th birthday. Beautiful day. I love her dearly. And we're in each other's lives forever, because I see too many other dads not getting the opportunity to spend time with their children. And it's really sad. I think with men especially, I want to speak to other dads, because I think there's such a persona about the sort of masculinity and toxic masculinity and the fact that you cannot show your vulnerable side. Well, for me, it's more manly to stand up here and show yourself bare than saying everything's fine. Because the sooner we just say, actually, we're all a bit stuffed, we're all a bit knackered, we've all got issues, the sooner we're going to be able to get on a lot better, quite frankly, because we're all weird, guys. We're all weird. I haven't blinked for 7 minutes, have I? Let's be honest. That's something. I don't know what he's saying, but he hasn't blinked. And now that he said it, yeah, he isn't blinking. A few sort of safety checks I do of myself, like I learned in also in this time in lockdown, I've had to deal with a couple of things in my family to do with my mum. My mum is got cancer and is still, fair play to her, she's still fighting on. She shouldn't be here. She's been here for 4 years when she had a diagnosis of a year. She's done her thing and she's still here. Now, me and my mum's relationship has been very tricky. I think that's also part of the fact of how I've been as a parent and thinking that I'm not good enough. But I've made peace with my mum now. And that has been a real struggle to deal with that sort of stuff as well, to do with the fact that what is the best way for me to accept my mum's actions and to make peace with her before she dies. And that is, I had a sort of, in therapy, I had a sort of nugget of information, which was, I was always very angry, talking about the speech before about the state of anger. I was very angry at my mum, being like, why will she never take responsibility for her actions? Why will she never stand up and say, do you know what, Joe, actually, I did mess you and your brother around and I really didn't behave very well. And my therapist told me, well, that is because it's her truth. And it was like a light bulb moment for me, because I was like, of course. In her mind, she thinks that her actions were not to blame for the repercussions of her children, where she's never going to admit that. So what's best for me, and me being a dad, and my children, is to say, that's her truth. I cannot change her thought process. Like, we cannot change anybody else's thought process in this world. So I think we shouldn't get sucked into getting negative energy from other people's uh, actions, because we cannot change it, can we? So we just need to focus on ourselves, guys. And I've realized that the last year more than ever. The roller coaster has been prominent. And some of the coping mechanisms for me have been, I live on a little boat and I've got some disco lights. And if I'm feeling glum and low, I put my disco lights on. It's normally like I Feel Loved by Donna Summer or something like that. And I just dance. And I put on some silly glasses, and I put on some silly shoes or whatever, and I just dance, because at that moment there, it's about nobody else but myself having fun and bringing joy to myself. That's all I care about at that moment, and that's what I think we have to do. If we're feeling down, it's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to feel rubbish. I'm not going to swear, Clark, because you did say don't swear, and I won't. But accept that the down times are part of life, innit? Like, life is hard. If anybody says it's easy, well, I'm jealous, number one, and I don't believe them. So it's hard. So accept that these times are hard now, but it's going to get better. That is for sure. We can almost see the light at the end of the tunnel, guys, can't we? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's coming. It is coming. I'm giving myself small victories, like the other thing I want to talk about briefly. Do tell me, Clark, as well. We're all right for a little bit, just a couple of minutes. Yeah. I don't remember. It's easy to talk. There's two things, and then we'll wrap this up. Is the ego state, right? I learned in therapy as well that the sort of negative voices in the head, in the head is that, the one that's saying you're not good enough, you can't do that. I've decided to name my negative voice. I think it really helps. So I've named my negative voice Winston. I don't know why. I think it's because I put it on a dating app once, thinking I was going to be continental or something. And so Winston is my ego state name. And if ever I'm feeling low and my head is saying to me, you're not good enough at that, you can't do that, I say, Winston, my boy, off you go, mate. This is no good to me or you. And that voice is now, I think it's a good technique to lower the voice of that. Tell Winston to shut up, because Winston's no good to any of us. Winston doesn't keep any of us in check, especially me, because I feel that once this is over and we can integrate again and we can have a lovely time, all is going to be well. And I just want to leave on this. I don't know if you've ever seen the lotus flower, right? So the lotus flower it grows in poo, right? The lotus flower is one of the most beautiful flowers in the world, and it flourishes up from poo and murky water, yeah? And it's so determined to get through that when it gets through that murky water, it flourishes. It turns into this big, beautiful flower. And that's what's happening now, guys. We've been in a tough time, but things are getting better. And we are powering through that dirty, crappy water, and we are going to flourish. So on that note, look up the lotus flower when you go home. Thank you for listening to me. And Clark and everything they're doing here is amazing. Clark is an absolute saint, and I'm going to give you back to him. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Joe Davies. And I know what party I'm going to on June the 22nd. It's Joe's boat. Is it June the 22nd we can come round to your boat? Is that? I don't know. Whenever. Oh, yes. Okay. June 22nd, Joe's boat. What an amazing guy. Thank you, Joe, for sharing your story with us. That was beautiful. And to step in last minute was beautiful. Thank you so much. We are here this evening raising money for Papyrus and Prevention of Young Suicides charity. This is a charity that helps people who have suicidal thoughts or know people that have suicidal thoughts and need some support. If you have any money this evening, if you can donate in the link just above the live link or on the QR code on the table, that'd be absolutely amazing. Thank you. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break and we're going to be back with Rosa Maxwell and then our guest final speaker. Thank you. Welcome back, guys, to the Festival of Awesomeness. Thank you all again for coming this evening. What a lovely evening. Sun is shining and we have the heaters on. It's a beautiful atmosphere, guys. Thank you so much for coming down this evening. Once again, this is to raise awareness of Papyrus Prevention of Young Suicides charity and mental health. And if you can donate, there is a link just in the live link above. Any donation will be greatly accepted, and it's £5 will be enough for someone to answer the call or answer a text and may save a life. So please, if you can, donate what you can. Once again, we've got Rosa Maxwell here with us. She's going to sing us a song before we see our final speaker this evening. Here she is, Rosa Maxwell.
Thanks, Clark. And Chris, I love that stepping in last minute. What a guy! Oh my gosh, so great. And that story with the disco lights. I'm coming to your boat, June 22nd, right? Chris's boat, done. He's looking a little excited and terrified at the same time. It's all good. Yeah, I was gonna tell a little story actually around what Chris is saying, and that following your pleasure. Joe. Oh, Joe's boat. I'm going to Joe's boat. Chris doesn't have a boat. There you go. So Joe, what Joe was saying around dancing with those disco lights and really like following your pleasure. And I think that that's something that's so important to do. And I bought this jacket ages ago and I was like, I can't wear this. I was like, people are going to stare at me. They're going to think I'm like absolutely mental for wearing a jacket that is so outrageous. And you know what? When I wear it, it makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like I'm a fucking, excuse me. It makes me feel like I am a superstar, and I really believe. Thank you. And I mean, I'm up here and I'm singing, and this isn't something that I do professionally, but it's something that I love to do. And I'm a big believer of following your pleasure, because that really brings you so much joy, and that's something that I really bring into like all of my work and all the stuff that I do professionally as well as into my music. So thank you so much for having me. This is bringing me so much joy. Wearing this jacket is bringing me so much joy. I feel really awesome. And I am going to play a little song by Niles Barkley, and this will be my little version of Crazy. I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so special about that place. Even your emotions had an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, you're out of touch. It wasn't because you didn't know enough. You knew too much. 'Cause that made me crazy. 'Cause that made me crazy. 'Cause that made me crazy. Possibly. Woo! Well, that was dramatic. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa Waxwell, and that's live for you here. She's carried on singing. You didn't see, but a small bench fell behind. It was safe. It's all safe. Well done, Rosa. Thank you. There is a bit of wind picking up. I'm just going to move this bench just 1 second. So we've come to our final speaker this evening, and actually our final speaker of the 3 series. This is our 9th speaker, and this speaker is we're very excited to have our next speaker, which is Glenn Delikan, and I'm very excited myself. I am studying an acupuncture degree, a 5-element acupuncture degree, and Glenn has done the same degree, and he's practicing acupuncture at the moment, and he's allowed me to come and watch and observe his style, and he's mentored me over the last year and a half, and he'll keep mentoring me to be the best, inspire me to be the best acupuncturist I can be. So I thank him for that. And he also has over 30 years of martial arts teaching experience. He is the founder of Sanjuro Martial Arts, and he is an inclusion coach. He has done so much good work for people, and we're so excited to have him this evening. Glenn Delikan, please come on down.
Thank you, Clark. All right, so good evening. My name's Glenn Delikan. So I'm primarily a martial arts instructor, as Clark says. I've actually been 40 years. Actually, I've been teaching for 40 years. Along with that, I've been doing voluntary work. I work extensively with people with multiple complex physical and mental health issues. I've won several awards for that. There's been a BBC documentary. I train people at a national level to work with disability. Started that at 16 when I started martial arts, and it's been the most wonderful journey. Along with that, I have got on my sports science qualifications, fully qualified fitness assessor, health assessor, nutritionalist, and a few other things. And I've got a degree in Chinese medicine, which covers TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, which is external causal problems, accidents, injuries, parasites, and poisons. And what I specialise in, I guess, which is kind of relevant to here today, is ancient classical 5-element acupuncture. And that's when it's about to do with stress and trauma and how it enters into the system. Now, I've been thinking, I do that occasionally, for the past two weeks about what to talk about here, and to be honest, I couldn't really come up with anything concrete as such. So I think let's just start from the beginning, and this would be good if it could be a dialogue rather than a monologue. So let's get you guys started. Could you please take one hand and place it on the wrist to try to find your pulse? It's just by the thumb. Press until you can feel the pulse. If you can't feel the pulse, can anyone not find the pulse? Can anyone not find the pulse? Can everyone find their own pulse? Yeah, fabulous. All right, if you can't find it, more than likely you're feeling very run down, there's not a lot of energy, and there's certain things we can do to help fix that. If, however, the second you touch it, you can feel the pulse instantly, this tells me something else. This tells me that more than likely your mind's not shutting down, things are going all the time, and you find it difficult to kind of organize your thoughts. So the reason I'm telling you this is because the information is out there as long as you know how to read it. So it's a case of listening and knowing the language, because once we can interpret what the body's telling us, then we know what to do. Now, there's an intrinsic link between our emotional state and our physical state. So for the past week, it's been quite it's an odd wind. There's 2 types of wind. There's good winds, which are negatively charged ions, and there's bad winds, which are full of positively charged ions. This week, it's been a positively charged ion wind, so our external environment has been affecting us directly. So a lot of people have been kind of a little bit edgy. It's been adding things to our system. So once we know this, information is knowledge, we can take actions to change this. The way we can identify this is because when the wind blows with this particular wind, it's not refreshing. It kind of makes you feel a little bit itchy, a little bit not quite right. So knowledge is power. And the more you can understand your emotional state, the more you can change your emotional state into maybe a little bit more clinical to understand how it happens. The simpler it becomes. Because I guess what everyone who comes to see me as a practitioner is looking for, and I guess almost as a martial arts instructor, everyone's looking for happiness, inner happiness, a sense of self-value, a sense of worth, and trying to make sense of the world. So the way we can do this is by starting, I guess, with the yin and yang symbol. Do we all know what the yin and yang symbol looks like? Yes, we do. Fantastic. Okay, right. So it's a circle. It's got two symbols in it. One's white at the top because yang rises and it's heating. Yin, however, is nourishing and cooling. So the first thing this tells us is that there's two energies. It's not a straight line with two energies balanced out, because that would mean homeostasis. That would mean that it's an unchangeable energy. It's either dark or it's light. It's got a little swash in it. Now this gives the implication of movement. Now what the movement talks about is the potential for change. We need change. We got that, yeah? Fantastic. All right, so we need change. So that means in our pursuit of happiness, is happiness a constant? No, absolutely not. It's transient. We're all looking for, what everyone's looking for is a constant, but the only constant is change. Now, the dark, I mean, there's many ways to interpret yin and yang, and we can go over this over the next over this talk. But the main thing it's talking about that things are constantly moving. Now, if we go out from this, we're talking about perspective. Yin and yang can talk about perspective. Yin is lower, yang is higher. So we need to understand how perspective works as well. So yin and yang is such a hugely important concept to get. So we've got positive energy, we've got negative energy. Yeah. Now it's all the same energy. It's all contained within one circle. Yes? Yeah. Fantastic. So I say it would be good if we could turn this into a dialogue rather than just a monologue as such. And I know what it's like when you're watching people. It's, oh, should I say anything? Oh, people are going to be looking at, people are going to look in, people are going to listen. That's fine. Step out of your comfort zone sometimes and go, oi, what does that mean? Talk to me, ask me questions. So you know, any time you can stop me and ask me a question. So, yin and yang. It's talking about positive and negative. Now we know that the universe wants us, according to Chinese theory, wants us to be good, or it wants us to be better, because the darkness pushes us towards the light. Yeah? If everything was good all the time, it would be boring as hell. We would not know who we are. I measure my joy and my happiness and my passion, by the heights of it, by the depths of my pain, my sorrow, and my sadness. I eat it all up. I don't reject anything. I understand that when I talk, nobody hears it's fine. So the train is not going to stop me. Or maybe it will in this instance while I get used to it. So we need to understand that to really take in the fullness of life, we need to accept all of it. So yin and yang is positive. The other thing that the yin and yang tells us is that it's about the universe being a closed circuit. There's the same amount of energy, same amount of particles in the universe now as there was at the beginning. So we could even extrapolate from this that maybe we are all made from the same stuff. We are all, in a non-religious way, we're all part of the Creator, made from the same things. As we turn to dust, it goes back into the universe and it gets reprocessed. So this is a constant. You know, maybe that's some form of immortality as well. So anyway, now let's talk about the 5 personality types that we get in Chinese medicine. The first subdivision of energy, well, the first subdivision is yin and yang, positive and negative. But it's not really a subdivision because it's the same energy. Yep. Fantastic. We can change it, we can transform it. Somebody might take trauma and it will destroy them. Somebody else, I mean, I'm at the top end of dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia. I really am at the top end. I was only diagnosed as being dyslexic when I was 45. So I spent my entire life feeling stupid. And when I found out but to be honest, I've always succeeded in everything I've done because it's been so goddamn hard to do anything. So you can take a positive, you can take a negative and turn it into a positive, yeah? In martial arts, we say a good fighter will hide their weakness. A great fighter will use it. So I don't think, oh my God, that's hard. Well, I do think that that's hard to read, that's hard to learn, but it pushes me harder than anyone else. We got that as well, yeah? Fabulous. Thank you, my audience over here. Right, so the first subdivision is 5 elements. It's called classical 5-element acupuncture because there are 5 basic personality types in Chinese medicine. When I heard this, I thought, oh my God, are you trying to tell me that we can divide the entire human race into 5 personality types? And the answer was yes. I was very, very, very skeptical. But then I started my own practice, started treating people along these principles, and they started getting better. So yes, I come to believe now that there are 5 basic personality types. So we must all know someone who's always frustrated. Yeah, always a little bit, whoa, what's that? Yeah, always maybe a little bit edgy, a little bit angry. Okay, that would be a wood element. We'll go over this eventually. How about the person who's always a little bit giggly? Always got a laugh. So we have a fire element here. The best example of a fire element would be The Simpsons, the Doctor. Oh, Mr. Simpson, you're going to die. Yeah? Oh, we got to cut your leg off. So that's definitely a fire element. And a water element, such as myself, it's someone who's always thinking, what can go wrong? I've already checked everyone in this room to check for safety. I know my exits. I've done a risk assessment. And I know I've got a strategy on how to get out of here if necessary. People always feel safer around water elements because we've always got a plan. My backup plans have got backup plans. An earth element. An earth element is someone who, do you want a cup of tea? Are you all right there? Are you comfortable? Yeah, are they looking after you? Yeah? No, that's terrible. Oh my God. Clark, sort this out right away, yeah? So an earth element will be someone who goes out and feeds the neighbours. They'll feed that cat, they'll feed that dog. And can you hear the fire giggling here, going, hoo, 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 hoo. Yeah? We got the fire going on here. So an earth element will look after other people. They'll go out in the storm with the food parcel and say, here you go, to their own detriment sometimes. We all know someone who cannot get over grief. They cannot move beyond it. Clark, I've done wood, fire, earth, metal, water. I've done it all. Yeah, fantastic.
You haven't done metal.
Haven't done metal. Clark, have I done metal? I did do metal. Metal is to do with grief. Now, The reason I'm telling you this is because along with these kind of personality traits, it's our strength and it's our weakness, basically, yeah? So fire, each element gives us a particular ability. Fire gives us the ability to, it's about love. Yeah? It's about love, yeah? And what fire looks for, fire gives us the ability to be intimate at an appropriate level. Now we all have these this in us, but the fire element is much stronger on that. Yeah, and the fire element has gone really. Oh, it's talking about me now. Now, they are much more susceptible. So in clinic, they are much more susceptible to heartache. Yeah, they find it very hard when their hearts get broken. A wood element, a water element, a metal element, an earth element can deal with it much more. Yeah, it's just not as important. In fact, what a lot of the fire elements tell me, they say, I wish I could be like that. But, however, with wood, what wood struggles to do, it struggles to get over being blocked. If you block it, they just get stuck and they can't get beyond that. A good example of a wood element would be Gordon Ramsay. He's very loud, he's very angry, and he always feels like he's going to be shouting at you. Even when he's being nice, he's very angry. Now, can you imagine trying to block him? They're quite powerful characters because they keep pushing forwards, but their strength and their weakness is being blocked. Water element is fear. That's me. I'm good. My heart can be broken, has been, and is yet to be broken again at some stage in the future, I'm sure. But I can shrug it off, as can a wood. But fear, for me, will stop me dead in my tracks. Yeah, I can't help it. It's just the way it is. Metal. Metal is about grief. Now, it can be grief, the obvious thing. We can lose someone we love. But you can also feel, what metal does, it gives us the ability to let go. Because we can't move forwards by holding on all the time. And it can be, you kind of got to analyze it a little bit more, yeah? You've got to not just think, it's about grief or loss or something. It can be a loss of a dream. It can be a loss, you might think, I want to do that in the future, but it's never going to happen. And that can really affect a metal element. The rest of us, we're all right. So everyone's got this. I've got an earth patient, got many earth patients, but this one in particular, she built up this social group, and it's all about nurture. It's all about nurturing. Earth gives you the ability to give and receive nurture. Now, what happened to her is this group that she built up. When they organised a holiday, and guess what they didn't do? Come on.
Food? Like,
What didn't they do?
or invite her.
They didn't invite her. They didn't invite her. Oh my God. 3 months later, we're still talking about it. Yeah? Different elements will go, right, I got you. I understand. You're not really my friends. Yeah? So what we got to understand sometimes, and with the fire as well, is that that's just the way we're built. Yeah? And I know it's cold comfort, but it is comfort to say that's the way I am. Now, you can develop all the other elements in us, but you must understand that there are certain things that you will always struggle with. Yeah? Make it your strength, but understand that it could be your weakness. I guess you're all wondering, how do we bring ourselves back into balance?
I want to know.
What about the people at the back? Are they thinking that? Are they all hiding? Well, what we've all been suffering from at the moment, the entire world, is stagnation. So there's a syndrome in Chinese medicine called stagnation, where we don't move. And that's literally a great description. We're not moving, we're sedentary. Our bubble, I can touch the sides of my goddamn bubble. The the bubble of protection has turned into a prison in many ways. And when I'm working with special educational needs or kids who have a lot of issues, what I see is that this level of protection quickly turns into a prison. You'd be talking to people who've got issues, and the mums and dads will be saying, "Oh yeah." I said, "I'm sorry. Can I get them to talk to it?" There's a boy. I know I've spoken about how to come back into balance, but as my dyslexic mind jumps, I will come back to it. So this wonderful boy I was teaching, so he's brought in, he's got cerebral palsy, couldn't really move very much, and this is in the martial arts class, and they said, well, let's see what you can do. So we kind of thought about it, and then we realised if you say to him, move the arm, move the arm, move the arm, that's going to work, that's going to get things going. But it's not going to happen because it's using one tried and trusted method that doesn't always work. So what we did is we created an external environment to get him from internally in his head to externally. So we've got things called focus pads in martial arts, things that you hit rather than each other. Sometimes we hit each other as well, but these are focus pads. So we kind of created a story for this boy, and we put the music on, we boomed it up, we hit his senses, and then I can see it like it was yesterday. The magic happened. The arms started to move, and it was slow motion. Boom. But then eventually, the finger touched the pad, and it was amazing. It was like, oh, it was just an amazing moment. But up to that moment, a disability had been created by our perception of what he could do. So, there's disabilities that we create by making the world not accessible for people in wheelchairs, and there's real disabilities. So I kept going, thinking this is amazing. And then, a few months later, because you've got to be realistic on time, I couldn't believe it. The other hand suddenly started to move. And then we got the lap moving, then we got the knees moving, and then I realised that I'd put limits on this boy myself. Yeah. So it's a way of unshackling ourselves from because we do this to ourselves as well. Yeah. We say we can't do this. I say I can't do this. I'm standing here wanting to run away in terror, but I'm forcing myself to stand. If you can see underneath here, look, my little legs will be shaking like crazy. Whoa! But I've been doing a safety check as well on that anyway. But we need to learn how we limit ourselves as well. So this is one of the ways that we can move through this. Is one, we can be kind to ourselves. Okay? Be kind to ourselves. We all say what you want. You want happiness. Happiness is transitory. It comes and it goes. Tomorrow I'm happy. Maybe the next day I'm going to be miserable. But what I can be kind to myself. And on those days when I'm miserable, you know what I do? I have a bit of cake. Yeah. Cake makes everything good. Yeah. What's your favourite cake? Carrot. I had some amazing carrot cake the other day. Yeah. Anyone else at the back?
Favorite cake? Jam donut.
Jam donut, not cake.
It's his cake.
Somebody's not listening. But whatever it is, it's something that makes you feel good. Now, it's a physical thing that makes you feel good. Not too much sweet things though, because the sweet things clog you up. Yeah, and what happens? You'll spike, and then you'll be tired afterwards. I had a lady yesterday, a patient in, and she said, I felt really bad, and I bought a pack of 6 cream cakes, and I ate them all, and it felt amazing for about 10 minutes, and then I'm really suffering from it now. Yeah. So we need to learn. We can't. So this was a classic. Yeah. We can't deny ourselves things as such. So when I'm training, when I'm doing eating courses for people with special educational needs, I say, look, get the chocolate. Don't eat it all at once. Leave a little bit there and say, right, I'll see you tomorrow. Just have a little bit. Don't overindulge. We should live our lives in the center. So we've got a line of energy. This is our line of energy. And where does this energy come from? Yes, you're right, yin and yang. Yeah, excellent, yin and yang. So it's the energy that's moving forwards in life. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. Now, the Chinese say that we should live as close to the middle as we can. That doesn't mean we're boring. Yeah, that doesn't mean we're boring. Yeah, eat cake sometimes. Boom, sometimes you've got to redline it. But, yeah. you got to, you know, it's something, the temple must be abused. Yeah. But not now. Stop it. So what it means is that if you go high, you have to go low. You know, because what you're doing from a medical perspective is you're burning up your reserves. It takes just as much energy to be miserable as it does to be sad. So it's just how we choose to use it. I just accept, in being kind to myself, I accept that sometimes I'm going to be happy, sometimes I'm going to be sad. But so long as I am moving forwards, yeah, that's all that matters. Don't back away from your weakness. Your weakness and your issues. I hear this all the time. I heard it a lot tonight about people talking about weakness and issues and problems. And I get parents bringing their kids in saying, oh yeah, very anxious. Oh yeah, got this problem, got that problem. And what am I listening to? Anyone? I'm listening to story. What am I listening to? That's a story, that's one thing. What else am I listening to? Perception, yeah. What else am I listening to? Limitation and programming. If someone keeps saying to you, eat that cake, eat that cake, eat that cake, or someone keeps saying to you that you're anxious, poor kid says, yeah, I'm anxious. Yeah, I'm an anxious person.
Leave it.
We managed to change it. It needed a little bit of conversation with the mother as well. But why was the mother saying it? Why was she anxious?
She thought her son was anxious.
Because her mother had said to her. So it had been passed down, yeah? But because society is currently talking about anxiety, and the conversation is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So some people are anxious. There are physiological reasons why some people will be anxious. But most people I see aren't, no matter what they say. They are experiencing anxiety at that precise moment in time, more often than not made a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, because someone has said to them, oh, you're anxious. They've watched something on TV saying, oh, you're anxious. So we kind of got to learn to listen to things. Truth. The truth has a certain ring. When you hear it, you just go, yeah, that's right. As does untruths. So if you actually listen to your environment, listen to things people say, listen to what you say. How many people here say, oh my God, is that the time? Where's this week gone? Is that, you know, 1 minute I was 16 and now I'm this? How many people in here do that? Yeah. When you were younger, did you say that? Did you go, oh my God, is it, wow, I've got nothing to do. You were bored because you had so much time. Time hasn't changed. Time hasn't changed. It's the same. It's going at the same speed. Now, I don't want to get into too many arguments about, oh, perception, yeah, we could do this, and it's relative and all that kind of stuff. Okay, no, time's moving at a constant speed. What happened is, as we've got older, we've listened to people, other people that we know, going, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know whether you. We've started to agree with them we empathise, and we've started to agree. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop doing it, yeah? Yeah, I mean, just stop the hell agreeing to put yourself down. because there's enough people out there who are going to do it for you without even knowing that they're doing it. When I was, I mean, I'm 50, I don't know. I was born in 1963, October 1963, so I think I'm 58 this year. I can't remember. Is that right? But a few years ago, I thought, oh my God, that's it, it's game over. Take my guitar, give it a good home. And the reason I'd kind of gone to that is because I was agreeing with people saying, I was going home saying, yeah, God, I don't know what happened. And 1 minute I was working, now I'm going to bed. And then I realized I started listening to people. And then I realized that I was agreeing to join in with this great thing that we say to each other. I have no time, where has it gone? So I then thought, I'm going to flip this. I'm going to try changing this. And the reason I realized that is because I know someone who always says, that drives me insane. That drives me mental. And I thought, I'm going to try that for a week. And oh my God, at the end of that week, I was like that. Wow. Yeah, and I had to say to her, look, I tried that for a week. And yeah, and you've been doing it for years, yeah? You've been doing it for years. Just be easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. What are you got to be? Kind. The people at the back have woken up. Let's give them a big hand. Yeah. So I then started saying, when somebody would say, where's the week gone? Where's the time gone? I'd say, you know, I've had a really long day, actually. I've done so much today. And over the period of about a month, I've started, my sense of time has really slowed down. It's gone back to, not when I was a kid, but I think it's, I've chosen how I want to perceive it. Yeah, so there's those kind of things. That's one way we can help bring ourselves into balance. In Western medicine, it's called homeostasis, perfect balance. Yeah. In classical 5-element, it's the same thing. It's balance between the 5 elements. So you are a fire, unmistakably, yeah? You unmistakably are a fire. Do we all agree that is a fire? Also, you're a musician. When you came out in front of here, you just, oh, yeah. Yeah, you just came alive. Yeah. So, understand. We're good. Yeah. So self-understand. So knowledge, self-knowledge is power. Yeah. And choosing to, because we don't just do it to ourselves. I see patients do it to each other all the time. It's choosing to think about what you're saying. Listen to the words. Now, when you listen to the words, there's something else you have to do. When someone's talking to you, what is that? Listen, and also, what else? What else is super important in that? What does everyone want to happen? People want you to understand them. People want you to see them. I see you. Yeah? And you're listening to me. I see you listening to me. I see that your body language has changed. Yeah? And your breathing's got a little bit slower. The tension in your shoulders has started to relax. Although we've still got a bit of tension in the hip on that side, but we can work on that. But what you need to your breathing's stopping here. If you think about breathing from above your belly button, this is called the dandian. It's two fingers above the belly button. The dandian, the center of energy, the hara in Japanese. If you're trying to throw someone, this is what you want to get underneath that to throw them, and then you can give them the good news. Yeah. But not that anyone in here wants to do that. Well, I do actually. But as does Matt and as does Clark. Any more martial artists in here? Woo! What do you do? Yeah? You're a martial artist as well, yeah?
I used to Wing Chun for 3 years. But I want to start again. I'm going to start again soon.
Excellent.
Yeah,
okay. So that's a lifestyle. So being a martial artist is a lifestyle. Now, it's a lifestyle choice. Being kind to yourself is a lifestyle choice, yeah? And do you just practice when you're at home? Or when do we practice this? When do we practice all the time. I practiced in the Uber on the way here. Uber, you did a great job. Doing a great job going through traffic. Fantastic. He was getting a bit angry, so he was getting me a bit worried. So I thought, I need to calm him down. He was because I'm a water element, so I'm a little bit fearful, thinking, oh my God, what's going to go wrong here?
I have a question from online.
Yes.
Fits in nicely here. How can you manage the elements, i.e., a wood to get less frustrated?
Excellent question.
I'm from Candice.
Candice. Hello, Candice, and thank you so much. For your, I'm looking. I should be looking at the camera. Thank you so much, Candice, for your question. So we got to. So her question was how to be less.
How can you manage the elements so for a wood to be less frustrated?
Less frustrated. Okay, less frustration now. Without, so it's called an FTD, a full traditional diagnosis, is where we actually figure out what's going on. So what the wood, in the absence of having a practitioner, so the easiest thing is go and see a practitioner. In the absence of a practitioner, not everyone here is going to like acupuncture, or maybe will even go and see one. But there are things that we can do, Candice. One is knowledge that this is happening and that it's just the way it is. But from a practical application is the reason you feel frustrated generally is because the thoughts become circular. Yeah, we get this circular thought thing going on. So in martial arts, say we've got, I don't do sport martial arts, I do combat arts. So there's usually more than one target. It's not just appropriately, it could be quite a dangerous situation. So you got to kind of got to slow down time. If you've got multiple targets, you've got to prioritize. This one's first, bang, you're next, boom, got you. So you kind of got to slow down time. So the quicker you, the more you panic, and this is what's happening to you in a less combat-orientated way. I'm guessing maybe you are surrounded at this moment in time, but what you've got to do is you've got to the more you panic, the quicker you move. So your thoughts move quicker. The quicker you move, the less you can see. The less you can see, the more you panic. So we're in a cycle, a circular thought pattern. So what you need to do, the minute you start to feel yourself getting frustrated, and this is for everyone with everything, you say, I'm doing it again. Don't try to stop it. Just go, I'm doing it again. Because I can guess from the frame of your question, because your question actually gives me quite a lot of information, which I'm not going to talk about as such, because it's personal. But the minute you start to feel yourself hitting that, say I'm doing it again, then what you do is you think, if you want to add on to this, is you think, where's my vision gone? I suspect your vision has gone here, just in front of you. Break the pattern. Think about how you're breathing. You know, your breathing's probably got shallow. It probably gets to about here, I imagine. So just break the pattern and then maybe even step away from it. But if you can slow down your thoughts, you can kind of figure out what to do. At the minute, there's too many. They're kind of hitting too quick. So that's one way. Another way is to think about anything else. Some of the greatest books, some of the greatest songs, some of the greatest stories that have ever been written and have yet to be written are by people doing the exact opposite, or just sitting down, contemplating life, looking into the distance, possibly eating cake, but they're giving their mind a rest. So the more you try to do it, it doesn't always work. Sometimes in martial arts, the best action isn't inaction. Hopefully that's, and Candice, hopefully that's answered your question to the best I can without actually seeing you. Are we good on that? Candice, is that all right?
There's a delay, so we won't get her response for a while.
No worries. Does anyone else have any questions about that? All right. So, how do we find balance? So it's a good question. So I, as an acupuncturist, don't take acupuncture. So I use my training, because as a martial artist, my training should be good enough to actually keep me good, balanced, keep me online. And look after my mental health, my spiritual health, and my physical health. So I kind of I maintain a good routine. My good routine is I get up, I do 10 minutes of training. I don't go crazy. I accept. That's probably the best way to put it. I accept. I accept the joy and the happiness. I accept the pain and the sorrow, because we know from yin and yang at the very beginning. Guys at the back, yin and yang? Yeah. Fantastic. We know that we need this to push us to be better. We know that the darkness will push us to the light. I mean, that's one way to look at it, is dark, pushing bad things, push us towards positive things. But then yin and yang also gives us perspective. So, let's see. This is more yang, and the floor is more yin. The trees are more yang than the canopy, so the canopy is now more yin. So, when we talk, the reason I'm talking about this and the reason we need to understand perspective is somebody who lives in one of the sink states where I teach, some of the poorest areas I'm back to my Jackie Chan with a lot of the work I do in the poorer communities for the past 15 years, and I work in some of the poorest communities where the kids don't have enough to eat, there's stuff going on at home, there's all sorts of things happening. And this is a created disability or impairment because the social setup is just not helping these kids. Yeah. So they might consider themselves poor compared to the people living in Chelsea and Kensington, more wealthier areas. But compared to some of the kids in India who I've seen, or Africa, or anywhere that's just not even got fresh running water, they're not poor. So you need to understand how to use comparison. So when I was a 16-year-old and I'd see these amazing martial artists, think, wow, I'll never be as good as that person, but maybe I can get my kick, maybe a little bit like them, maybe I can be as good as them, maybe I can do that. And then I got sick of it. I got sick of not being as good as them. So I thought, that's it, next week, all I want to do is be a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Over the ensuing months and years, I'd say I not only equaled many of my instructors, I surpassed them because I wasn't placing myself. So my use of perspective and comparison was originally wrong. It kind of, I think it worked for me at the time because I got really upset with myself. And I used this energy to not take myself down thinking, oh, I'm going to give up now. I just thought, no, boom, I'm going to figure this out. So I then used perspective and comparison. I changed my perspective from others to myself. This week I can reach here. Here now I can get here. This week's here. Every week, all I wanted wasn't even every week, you know. It was maybe a month later or 6 months later, I managed to do something a little bit better. So that lesson is a lesson I apply to my everyday life. Now, do we ever get it right? Do we ever get it right? Sometimes. We can get a close approximation to getting it right, but I don't think I'll ever be happy. This is called front straight punch. Yeah, it's the most important technique in martial arts. I swear to God, have spent 40 years trying to get this right. Even now, it's not good enough. Even now. And what this tells us from martial arts to life is the best way to achieve something is to move straight towards it. Sometimes there's something in the way, you need to move around. Sometimes you need to use a bit more power. So everything I do links with everything I do. So nothing is in isolation. So I see my life as a series of connected activities, connected moments, which stops me from feeling isolated and alone. Yeah? Yes? Yeah! Thank God for that. And it's just the way I think. It's a thought process. Yeah? It's not, I'm no different than you guys. Maybe shorter than some of the other guys in here, but that's it. I'm no different. I have the same hopes, desires, dreams, that kind of stuff. But I've kind of taught myself to think differently. And because what am I being to myself? Kind. What's the easiest way to be kind to yourself in the absence of anything else? Eat cake. Absolutely. God, if the cake gets that kind of applause, what, I better not talk about the other stuff. But what is the other stuff? If I'm not talking about cake, what are the other things that make you happy? Tea's good. Yeah. Connection. God knows I thought I didn't need people before this. God knows now I know just how much I do need people. I'm talking to anyone. Yeah. Anyone. Anyone. Who are you? Talk to me. Connection. I need connection. I need as a water element, I need to know I'm safe. So I understand my elements, and what I'll do is I'll post something on my website about 5-element resonances, and if anyone's got any questions, you can email me, and I'll respond. But I've got to do it maybe at the weekend. But I understand what drives me. I'm driven by fear. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that everything's woo, like that. Woo. It's I mean, it can be sometimes, but you're driven by love. Yeah. Did you hear that? Yeah. I didn't even. All she did was shout it out. Love. Yeah, but must be controlled. Yeah. It must be in balance. Because if with water, I either move towards things. When I was younger, I moved away from things that frightened me. So I got older, I moved towards them, and that was really dangerous. Got it out of my system. I now can maintain an appropriate distance. Wood, Candice, wood needs to feel it can expand and grow. So wood needs to find avenues. And the reason she was asking the question, because it's all about growth and development. Wood gives us the ability to see what needs to be done, make an appropriate plan, and take decisive action. Now, we all have this in us. We can develop all of these things in us to get us to this Western concept of homeostasis, perfect balance. Metal. Metal are usually accountants. Any accountants in the house? No? Metals and...
No, I'm not accountant.
No, I'm not accountant. Don't look at me. I didn't mention numbers. Oh, that was someone else. So, yeah. But not everyone who's a metal is an accountant. Just most of them. So metal is about letting go. Yeah, because to move forwards in Chinese. In Chinese philosophical principles and metaphysical principles, you can't move forwards by holding on to everything. You're like this, trying to hold on to everything, but we've got to let go. We've got to travel light. I mean, I could go into much deeper medical terms with this, but it's about letting go. And remember, it's not just to move forward. You must let go. If you lose something, it's gone. Maybe like E.T., I'll be right here. You know, you keep it in your heart. I've never been to visit my parents' graves because the mortal coil is only in there. The years I had the pleasure of being in their company when they're here is here. Nothing's going to take that away from me. I don't need to go to a cold graveyard. So let go, but you know we don't need to go. Oh, that's gone forever. And remember, there's something called the wound behind the wound in Chinese medicine. You know, why does someone gets really upset about not being able to let go of something? It might be that they've lost a job. Fine, fair enough, you get another job. Or maybe let's say you lose your dog. Oh, lose a dog? Oh, I don't like dogs. Oh.
I liked it.
Liked him, but no, what an idiot. Yeah, but say you lose your dog, yeah, and it's terrible, and you can just never get over it, which I guess most of you dog lovers out there will struggle with. But you might find out that that person who will never let go of that pain, maybe when they're a child and they had a difficult situation at home, maybe the only place they found love was in the unconditional love of an animal, which doubles up the pain of that loss. So we've got to really look at how things affect us. Don't just think, yeah, we don't need to be slaves to our emotional state. I mean, it has some effect over us. What the hell? What am I? What? How much time? Is that somebody at the back? Fine. All right, 5 minutes. So we don't need to be slaves to our emotional state. We don't need to think, oh my God, this is how I'm feeling today. Yes, it is. Yeah, and tomorrow it'll be different. It's a bit like the weather, isn't it? A little bit more of the same. Next day, but if the seasons change, the summer comes, turns to autumn, autumn turns to winter, winter turns to spring. There are actually five seasons in Chinese as well, but we're not in China now. The fifth. Fifth season.
Harvest.
Harvest. Summer. It's a summer.
Sorry, I was in the
So this is like us being in clinic now, because I'll go to Clark, tell me this. Well, that's the best way to learn, yeah? So we don't need to be, we're not leaves in the wind. We have a choice. And the reason we feel like leaves in the wind is because Hollywood, songs, oh my God, I love you, I did this, yeah. We buy into that. I remember all the times when my hearts were broken, my heart, I'm not Doctor Who, when my heart was broken, listening to love songs and thinking, yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me, and really programming myself. What I was really doing, it wasn't really a broken heart as such, it was me as a young man soaking in depth of emotion. That's a big train. So I kind of wanted to experience, and there's that. I mean, there's a lot of young people, everyone's young to me. A lot of young people in here. It is about passion. It's about passion. It's about hate. It's about everything intensely. As you get older, that you kind of have that as well, but it's just it doesn't have that I'm going to change the world thing. It's I'm actually going to just be happy in myself, or rather than be happy in yourself, what are you going to be? Kind to yourselves. So. We don't need to be, through knowledge, through listening, through interaction with others. You know, what better way to make yourself feel good than being nice to someone else? And how are you doing? Are you all right? Yeah. And how are you? You're not looking as cold now as when we started. Yeah. And are we good over here? Fantastic. And we're all going to have cake after this, aren't we? Yeah? Maybe gluten-free for some people out there. But just being the act, a selfless act of kindness. Why would I want anything in return to make someone smile? I mean, for me, I love it. I try to make every interaction a positive interaction. And I like not having too long. 2 seconds. Oh, thank you very much. That's all it is. Make eye contact. I have one more question. Yes. I've got 1 more minute. I don't have 1 more question. I've got to finish in a second. So, before we finish, does anyone have any questions whatsoever before I wrap up here? I can give you. Yeah, you can. I'll let Clark sort all that out. So.
How do you remind yourself to be kind when your energy is down, on the line?
All right. So this is an excellent question. Very good. So, going back to martial arts. when fighting the other person, you have to completely lose your own agenda. It's not about me, it's about the other person. So you almost don't exist. You just become in the moment doing what it is you're doing. And the sole center of your existence at that moment is the other person. So when I'm talking to someone else, they become the whole reason for me, for that interaction. So I lose myself. I just want to know about you. Yeah? And that's how I do it. It's really simple, just for that second. And in forgetting myself just for a second, I then get perspective on myself. And it's not me wanting. I don't really want anything, to be honest, apart maybe from a bit of cake. Yeah. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Clark. See you later. All right.
So, thank you, Glenn Delikan, for that. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're back with Rosa Maxwell to play us a few songs. Yes, see you in 5, guys. Thank you. And thanks everyone watching online. We've seen some amazing speakers this evening. We've seen Celine Abrahams talking about breath work and her amazing, powerful story. Thank you, Celine. We saw Joe Davies, who's speaking about his own powerful mental health and his own journey. Thank you, Joe. And we've seen the amazing Glenn Delikan at the end now with some amazing inspirational words. I'm going to have to watch that back. There was so much to take in. Thank you, Glenn. And thank you all, guys, for coming down and sharing this. It's been an amazing night. And I'd like to also say thank you to all the other speakers for the other 2 nights that we've been here as well, and all the other musicians that were there helping us, and everyone that came to that. Thank you so much for allowing us to all spread this awareness of mental health and this charity, Papyrus, Prevention of Young Suicides. And again, if you can donate anything to that charity, the link is just above the live link, and you can donate there. So thank you, and everyone take care of yourselves. We're going to give you some more of Rosa Maxwell, and after that we're going to cut to Tommy Danquois, who is live in Estonia. He's going to take us through hashtag 365 24/7. Great, I said it right this time. I did. He's going to spin a wheel. You'll see, if you saw it last week, he's an absolute legend. I love him to bits. So to Rosa Maxwell for now, and then to Tommy Danquois. But thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Clark. And wow, Glenn just got me to a T. I was the fire element that he kept referring to, if no one got that, from all of the laughter throughout my performances. And I don't think Glenn actually knew, but my actual job is a sex, love, and relationship coach. So couldn't really be more perfect for this elemental nature. And it means that I just get to help others in those areas. And it couldn't have also been more perfect to line up for the final song that I'll be playing tonight, which is none other than You've Got the Love by Florence and the Machine. So I hope you are all feeling the love. I know I feel so in love with everything right now. This beautiful setting, this beautiful festival. Yeah, and this is for all of you. Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. I know I can count on you. Sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care. You got the love I need to see me through. When it feels the going's just too rough and things go wrong, no matter what I do, and now and then it feels like life is just too tough, but you've got the love I need to see me through. Oh, you got the love, 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 you got the love. Sometimes I feel like throw my hands up in the air. I know I can count on you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that is it. There's the last one. That is the last one of 3 weeks of amazing talks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Clark. Thank you to the Festival of Awesomeness. Thank you for the Colour Factory for hosting. It's been amazing. What an amazing, amazing experience. Okay, finding your awesomeness. Let's have a quick recap. But before we do that, this week was Finding Your Balance. Massive shout out to Glenn, Indiana and Celine, also Rose and Maxwell. Wonderful music. It's just been an absolute delight. I've loved it. I've loved it. Who am I? I'm Tommy Danquah. For those of you who haven't met me, I'll go a bit more into what I do and who I am afterwards. But just recap. It's been absolutely amazing. 3 weeks of talks. So shout out to all the speakers who have shared their sort of knowledge, their passion, their stories. We found our focus in week number 1. Week number 2 was finding your mindset. And obviously this week was finding your balance. So I just feel like we've absolutely been prepped, primed and ready to go into the outside world. I'm outside again. Check this out. And it's not because it's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. Make no mistake about that. But I'm also outside because this week is Mental Health Week. How cool is that? And we are being encouraged this week to get out into nature and reconnect. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I say this not just to boast. You know, it's not about bragging, but if you do want to comment and let me know how awesome you think I am, I'll take it. But yeah, getting out into nature. So this morning I went on a bike ride and it was amazing. I live in the countryside. For those of you who don't realise, I'm in the countryside. I'm not in a city or a town. And I'm blessed with so much open space and, you know, fields and green everywhere I go. So I've been on a bike ride this morning and now I'm sitting outside my house and I'm by the lake. And I am blessed enough to sort of, you know, this is on my doorstep. I'm literally, my house is there. That's where my house is. I can see it. I could shout to my wife and ask for a cup of tea. And, you know, she'd probably say no, but I could do that if I wanted to. But nature, going out into nature, talking about finding your balance. How amazing is that to sort of go forward and tune in? Massive part of that for me is actually being out in nature, going for those walks, the bike rides, wild water swimming. You know, for those of you that follow me, you'll see that I've, you know, a few weeks ago, this lake was completely frozen over. We were walking on it and making ice holes in and jumping in. And talk about recentering yourself and, you know, getting in touch with nature and feeling balanced. This is it. This is it. So yes, Mental Health Week is here. It's amazing. The Festival of Awesomeness is amazing. I just feel like these talks have been so beneficial as we're coming out of lockdown, as we're, you know, finding our way back into the big wide world of discovering who we are. And I really, really hope that after these talks that you are well equipped going forward. And I really hope that you have all managed to find, or you're still finding, your awesomeness. That is what I hope. That is what I hope. So what now? The talks are done. You know, they've all taken place. We've taken on the information. We're ready to go into the big wide world, which is great. It's great. And, you know, what we've learned about, you know, ourselves this, you know, these sorts of like past few weeks, what we've learned about ourselves is really important. And also just knowing that our mental health is really important at every stage in our life, not just through these talks. I hope that you hold on to the information that's been given by the speakers, because there've been some absolute gems in there and stuff that I know that I'm going to start applying to my day to day. But I just hope you realise the importance of mental health. It's as important as brushing your teeth, you know, showering every day, eating every day, exercising, you know, regularly. You know, your mental health is every bit as important as that. So I just think that, you know, we can look after mental health in many ways. You've definitely got some amazing information from all the speakers, but something that I choose to do, and part of my journey, is this, the old spinner of greatness. And I've been invited here to do a spin and to encourage you. So for those that have missed the first 2 talks that I've done, the spinner of greatness, it's basically something I came up with after, battling with my own demons and struggling with my own mental health. As I started to become well, I found certain things that really, really helps me. And ultimately what it is that when you do good, you really do feel great. And the idea of this challenge is that every day I spin it and it gives me something. And again, it could be something that's good for your relationships, whether it's a relationship with your partner, your children, your parents, friends, or even what I like to focus on is my relationship with myself, and just do something good for that. Good riddance, saying goodbye to something that's not serving you purpose. Good physical health, exercise, eating well, good for the environment. Let's look after this planet. We've only got one. So, every day just doing something small every day, something good small every day. It can really, really help you feel good. And it just forces you to focus on your mental health. It really does. So this is what I'm here for. This is why I'm here. And the wheel has been an absolute gift. Now, you can follow me on any of my social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's all 365 good, 24/7 great. And you'll see different challenges. You'll see me doing different talks on mental health. And you'll see me just losing my spinner of greatness. You couldn't write it, could you? You couldn't write it. I'm not even going to edit this. This is for the show reel. Oh my goodness. So let me put that back on there. Brilliant. I'm not editing that. I'm keeping it. So you know that this is real. This is not edited. I am fallible. I'm human, but I'm feeling great. And I'm feeling awesome, totally inspired. So we're going to rock and roll, and we're going to give it a spin before the wind takes it away, because yes, it's great being out in nature, but then you do have to deal with the things that may come with that. All right, so I'm going to do the final spin for this, and I'm going to encourage you to do the challenge, but more importantly, I just really want you to focus on remembering who you are. We came here for a reason, and that was to find our awesomeness. Clark and the Festival of Awesomeness, I love you. I love everything that you've done. I'm really grateful for these talks. I know everyone who's watching this is as well, because they've been so beneficial to all of us. I'm going to give the spinner of greatness, aka Big Bertha, one final spin. Hopefully she won't fly away or disappear before I do that, and hopefully it's going to be something amazing. All right, so here we go. Let's do the last challenge. 3, 2, 1. I'm holding it because I'm scared it's going to fly into the lake. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, there's the spin. And what has it given us? It has given us good riddance. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Right, now good riddance isn't rude. It's not about, being horrible or telling somebody to bleep. Although if somebody is being horrible and, not doing you any good in your life, then yes, by all means tell them to go and do one. But it can be letting go of anything. And what I choose to really work on is limiting self-beliefs, okay? So we're going to go forward. You might have doubts or fears or worries. And, I'm always reminded that you're not your mind. You're not your mind. So maybe if something is bothering you, is holding you back, it's time to let it go. It's time to say good riddance to that. Okay, whatever it is that's holding you back, whatever it is that's not having a positive impact on your life, whatever it is that's stifling you, it's time to let go. Now, you can do this in any way. What I like to do is when something's bothering me, I like to write it down, and I like to either tear it up or burn it. It's the physical act of letting something go that really, really, really gives me this. It gives me a feeling of like I've actually physically done it, even if it's something mentally. So We're going to go forward into the world right now. We're going to take bold steps. We have found our awesomeness. Anything that might be niggling you or, you know, just holding you back that little bit, it's time to let it go. It's time to say good riddance, okay? The spinner of greatness has spoken. I have spoken. Nearly lost the spinner, but it is over. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Remember, you can find me and Andy Richardson on the Man Up page, which is www.manupuk. It's the men's mental health podcast. Or you can find me on 365 Good, 24/7 Great, where I will be spinning the wheel and just trying to inject as much positivity and good feelings into your lives as possible. We are over. We are done for maybe another year, or until Clark has another amazing idea that he drags us all involved, gets us all involved in. Have an amazing time, Clark, and the Festival of Awesomeness. Thank you so much. I love you. My cat has just joined me and wants to say hello. This is Slash. Hello, Slash. Oh, didn't want to say hello. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.